Hey guys, it's Emma. We have another great episode for you today. But before we get into it, we did have a few technical issues with my microphone. I apologize for this and it won't be happening again. But as you know, this is a brand new podcast and we're learning as we go. So I hope you enjoy the episode and let's get straight on into it. Hello everyone. Welcome to the Things I Wish My Mum Told Me podcast with me, your host, Emma Tamsin-Hill.
And me, your other host, Clara Hermit.
Woo woo! And today, we're going to be talking about sisterhood.
Friendships.
I'm reaching out to you. I'm reaching out to you. Hold me. Hug me, brother. Yeah, we're talking about friendships, sisterhood, community.
It's very, very important. Go on. Any more words?
I'm sure there is. They're just not on my mind right now.
Closeness.
Togetherness.
Oneness.
Love.
Communication. No, nothing.
Nah, it's not. It's gone blank, mate. There's nothing else. No more words. I'm not a dictionary.
Okay. But we are going to be talking about this. And it's something that's really, really, really important. But I think, very often as women, we're taught to kind of be pitted against each other, see each other as competition. And, that when you get over that and you start to kind of, have friends, it's, well, not that you didn't have friends before, but you know what I mean? Your friendships change.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Over time. Friends become more important to you. Some kind of friends become less important to you.
Yeah.
And I think I get a lot of messages whenever I do my little advice segments of people asking how to make friends and how to build a community and how to build a sisterhood.
Yep. This is a huge, huge topic. So I work as a self-love and confidence coach, and a lot of my clients will be that they either have moved to a new place and they're not surrounded by their friends, and so they're having kind of like long distance relationships with their friends, which are not the same as in person. It might be that you've changed and the friends that you had are still living a certain lifestyle that you don't want to live anymore.
Yeah.
And so suddenly you find yourself as an adult without friends, essentially. And the thing is when you're a kid, you just walk up to someone and go, I like you. And then they go, I like you. And then you're like, let's be best friends.
We're best friends.
And it kind of works like that. And, when you're in school, you're in a social situation 5 days a week, pretty much every week of the year, apart from your holidays.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of people there and everyone's kind of looking for friends and establishing friendships. Uni, I imagine I didn't go, but I imagine it's kind of similar.
Oh my God. Honestly, uni is where I met like my solid group of friends now. Like I had friends at high school that I was friends with, but I feel like at uni, like I really came into myself, and that's where I made like my most fulfilling and longest lasting friendships who I'm still friends with now.
Yeah. And that's a beautiful thing. But this is what I'm saying. So I didn't go to uni, but I've got my best friend who has been my best friend since I was 11. And even though our lives are really different now, that she's married with kids, I'm still single, but we still make time for each other. We still get on and we're still best friends, I would say. And then a lot of my other friends I've kind of like picked up along the way. And I'm the kind of person, I don't have like a big group of friends of which I'm part. I have lots of individual friends and then bring them all together sometimes, but they all come from different, parts of my life.
That's important though, like having different groups of friends for different things. I'm very much like that kind of person.
Yeah.
I don't have like a bestest friend. Like this is my bestest friend. I have people that I'm like very close to. But
well, you do now.
Oh, you my best friend? You want to be best friends?
Yeah.
Did we just become best friends?
Yeah. Like stepbrothers, the two of us, basically, between the two of us. So when it comes to, I guess, like this idea of making friends, what is your advice and what do you say to people? If people say, like, I'm struggling to make friends, like I want to make friends, I think we need to really normalize the fact that even if you've already got friends, you might want more. You might want friends in a certain area that support you. Like say you've taken up a new hobby or there's something you really enjoy doing and you're going to do it more and be more consistent doing it if you have a friend that also does it.
Yeah.
Like I really think we need to normalize the fact that as adults, it's perfectly fine to make friends.
Yeah.
And Bumble have Bumble BFF, right?
Have you ever used that?
I personally haven't yet, but I'm not saying that I wouldn't. Depending on, I feel like at the moment I'm like, not my friendship roster is full. I don't mean it like that. I'm just busy.
I hear that because I feel the same. Like when I moved to Manchester from Preston, I was like I've got enough friends. I don't need any more friends. Not in a rude way, but and then I ended up making so many friends because you just do from like you meet friends of friends, and that's how I've been making friends a lot in the past couple of years. I had my solid group of friends from uni, then I have friends that I know through work, through social media, and then I go out a lot. So you meet people. Oh, can my friend come here? Can my friend do that? Blah, blah, blah. And then you end up just making new friends. And I feel like any advice that I give to people, I don't know if it's like the best advice ever, but you have to get out there. You're not going to meet friends in your house.
Exactly that.
Or it's like, I feel like I've been wanting to do this for ages, like make a little group for like my followers so they can all become friends with each other, like a little WhatsApp or whatever. But like joining a club, having a hobby, going and doing whatever, like I started going to this yoga class and then I just start chatting to the people there and you just start making friends and meeting new people.
And that's it. And then you just say, hey, have you got time for a coffee after the class? And then you go for a coffee. Like it could be people from, like you're saying, yoga, the gym. Yeah. It could be like if there's something that you're interested in, if it's film or there's a book club or anything like that. Like my friend and I were in Brixton the other day and we walked past this, it was probably about 8 o'clock at night and the shop was closed, but they were having, it was a really cool shop and they were having a book club meeting. And next we looked at the poster on the window and all the women in there looked so cool. And we were just like kind of standing at the window like, please get me coming. But obviously we hadn't read the book, so, you know, it would have been a bit orcs. But at the same time, there are a lot of these like gatherings happening. And fair enough, I'm in London, you're in Manchester, they're big cities. But there's stuff going on just about everywhere. And, you know, you can make friends via the internet. Like some of my friends I've made via Instagram and met via Instagram. And, you know, what's wrong with that?
Yeah, they've been like, some of the friends, I've just been on holiday with some of my friends that I met through Instagram. And they're like my sisters now.
It's so strange. Like if you meet people who are like on your level and you're energetically aligned, it's like you've known each other forever. So, do you know, like my friend Beth, we did a fundraiser for an island called St. Vincent the Grenadines because she's been there, I've been there. It's a small island. We never met each other, but she was raising money and I wanted to do an event raising money. And so she was like, I'll help you. And we got linked together by like a mutual contact, right? And that was 2 years ago. And since then, like we went to Afro Nation together, like we meet up and do stuff all the time. She's somebody that she's really different to me. Like she took me to this performative art like gallery thing, which I would never probably have known about or found myself. But she introduces me to loads of new stuff, right? We go to like these kind of networking, like morning networking events, like go for a run and then go and do that. And it's just like, it fills me with so much joy and like satisfaction to have incredible friends.
Like sisterhood is so important. And recently when I like went through this little breakup, the day after the breakup, like my friends came through. Like I remember I made this like TikTok vlog and everyone was commenting like, you have the best group of friends. It was like they all was texting me like, I'm going to come around, I'm going to come see you, I'm going to take you out. One of my friends took me out for lunch, brought flowers and chocolates, brought a boyfriend. Like he was... not brought a boyfriend, but you know, they both came.
Have
I
this
feel like
one.
when your friend, like when they get with someone and like, it's like when their boyfriend cares about you and then like, it's just so sweet. And I feel like that's what really got me through that time. Like having them friendships there and just having good
it just shows the importance. Like, you know, I recently lost my ex-boyfriend, like he passed away. And honestly, the support that I had from my friends during that time, it just kind of confirmed to me how amazing they are, but also like this is the level of connection that we have. Yeah. Like they were there for me through and through. And it means like to have that kind of like support where you can be totally honest, totally authentic. But like some of the things that they were kind of like saying to me about how they perceive me, you know, it was just like, oh my God, you know, like I wouldn't even think like that. This is just something that I'm doing because this is who I am and this is what I feel like I have to do or I want to do, not have to. But when you have those kind of women, and I think because I didn't have my mum growing up as well, like I always was, my relationships with like women could be a little bit funny, you know, because I don't know, I didn't feel like I was one, if that makes sense. Like I didn't really know, like I remember thinking like, what is it that makes you a woman? And like, how do I be that? Like, how do I feel like that? And so sometimes I'd feel a bit alien from people and like distance myself. And I know, like hand on my heart, that I probably destroyed a lot of good friendships, or not destroyed them, didn't give them a chance to form. Because the way that I was and the way that I felt about myself. And so I just thought that person doesn't really like me. Yeah. So I'm not going to pursue, I wouldn't, you know, I just assumed that I wasn't good enough to be friends with them almost. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, I'm not there anymore and I haven't been there for a long time, but that was something in my younger years that really hampered the kind of friendships that I had.
I think a lot of young women struggle with that though, like the self-sabotage, but also like their feelings of jealousy around their other female friends if you're not in the right spaces. I feel very lucky because I've always been in spaces with women where I feel supported and safe, but some women don't have that experience. They feel threatened, or like their friend is jealous, or their friends are mean, or make jabs at them, and
that's not a friend.
No, that's not a friend at all. It's a foe.
Yeah.
And on this, I want to ask you a question. Have you ever lost a friend, like in like a dramatic way? Maybe not dramatic, but I just feel like has been a story that sticks in your mind when you've lost a really good friend?
Yeah, like someone who I considered to be not even just my best friend. Like I loved her, loved her, and you know, I'm not going to go into every detail, but like there was a lot of stuff that, you know, that I did to accommodate our friendship and her, because I felt like I wanted to help her, including like having my bedroom split into 2 rooms so she could move in with me and get out of where she was living because she wasn't happy. And like on another occasion, moving her overnight, like getting my dad and everyone involved to help her move really quickly, helping her find places, all of this stuff. And I think, like, I just thought that we were best friends. I thought that she was like my sister, and she, you know, she was there when my sister was ill. Like all of this stuff was happening, and and we were inseparable. We were like this, you know, and we did everything together. And I really genuinely thought we were the closest of friends. And then I was living in a house share. So when I was in my early 20s, I was living in a house share. And she used to say she doesn't like going to the house share. She doesn't like the dynamic of everyone that lives there or whatever. And I said, look, I totally hear that, but, you know, I appreciate you being here. I'm going away. I gave her my key to the house. And I was like, if you want to come and stay, then, you know, you can. When I came back from my holiday, no one in that house was speaking to me anymore. I still am not entirely 100% sure bearing in mind, they were my friends.
Yeah.
I'm still not entirely sure the details of what she told them that I had done to her or how I'd been to her. But all of them completely distanced themselves from me and wouldn't talk to me about it, wouldn't tell me anything. And years later, I'm now friends with the people that were my friends originally because she did the same thing to them. And what I realised is...
What happened?
No, it wasn't. She was just a compulsive liar, essentially. And so what was happening was, you know, remember I said, like, I had my room split in 2 and there was another time she was moving. So she kind of grow close with a group of people and then make up stories about them and then get away from them. And then it was just a very strange situation. But what I will say about that is it broke my heart. You know, like you think
you know someone and you don't.
But also like comparing it to the heartbreak of breaking up with a boyfriend, in a way I think it was even worse. It was the most heartbreaking experience of my life. Imagine I'm in a situation where my sister's really ill. And not only have I lost my best friend in the whole entire world, but all the people that I'm living with now don't like me. And it went on for years. And I had to completely give up like those friends and move into a different place and everything. And that comes to mind like so vividly and so clearly that.
Friends.
And I don't ever really have an explanation. I don't have an explanation as why, the reason, none of that. Don't get it. But what I will say is I was heartbroken, like absolutely devastated, heartbroken. I can't even tell you.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like I've had not similar, but living with friends, it can be make or break.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you a story right now.
Settle in, kids.
Let me get comfortable. God, she's probably going to listen to this, okay? And I'm going to tell the story.
Sure.
So I had a friend. I've only feel like I've ever lost one friend. Like, you know, you grow away from people and you're not as close anymore, whatnot. But if I saw them, still cool. I feel like I've only ever properly lost like one friend. And it wasn't even too long ago, right? So me and this girl were friends. We've been friends for a couple of years, met through Instagram. Then like, you know, we started hanging out in person and whatnot. Cool, everything is fine. Lovely girl. We decided we were going to move in together. So we decided we were going to move in together. We moved in. Everything was calm. Like, I enjoyed living with her. Everything was good. Now, I live in a 3-bedroom flat. So, I have a bedroom, and then I have an office room, because that's what I've always lived in a 2-bed even by myself. So, I have a bedroom, office room, and then there was her bedroom. We live together. Everything's going great. Now, anyone that knows me and has known me for a long time, is close to me, knows I date. You know, I date around, I have casual sex. And I'm very also like, if you want to come to my house and you say, oh, can my friend Sarah come? Like, yeah, bring Sarah. I don't care. Like, I'm very sociable, very open and sociable and whatnot. Now, before we moved into this house, like, you know, I was sort of saying like, this is how I am and whatnot. Cool. And I think before we moved in, but everything was already signed. Like, it was maybe like a couple of weeks before we were moving in. And I think I made a joke like about, oh, you're going to get sick of me, blah, blah, blah. You know, because like I'm very free spirited. Like,
yeah.
if I want someone to come over, they're going to come over. Like, cool. And obviously I hadn't lived with anyone before that. I lived with my ex-boyfriend, but like I'm used to doing what the fuck I want when I want, which maybe is, you know, maybe that was my downfall in this situation. So have I ever told you a story? I don't think I've ever told you a story, right? So cool. Sorry, I'm very long-winded with telling stories. So
all the details.
Yeah,
I was wearing
every single. So I was wearing blue. It was a sunny day. So I remember I was like busting a joke about, oh, you're gonna get sick of me, and she was like, well, there better not be people there all the time. And I was like, oh no, like there won't be. Like it's gonna be calm. It's gonna be calm. Right. Moved in together. Everything was good. We really got on. She worked like a 9 to 5. So I'd be like in the house all day and whatnot. And there was this one time, so I'd had guys over that I was seeing and whatnot, but I never felt like I took the absolute piss. Like if you come mind that you're going to come in my bedroom or whatnot, or we'll chill in the living room, watch Netflix. And then, you know, we're not going to do anything mad inappropriate, like whilst you're in the house or in the living room and whatnot. And it's like when I bring someone to my house, I'm not going to confine them into my bedroom. Like you can go in the front room, go on the balcony, you know, make a brew if you want one. Yeah. Anyway, so this had been going on. I thought everything was fine, honestly. I also need to preface this by saying she was not the kind of person that had casual sex at all. She didn't really chat to no one. She didn't really have sex with anyone. She was, you know, just very not on that, which is cool. That's her thing. But whilst I had different partners coming in and out of the house and whatnot over a period of a few months, I thought everything was fine. Cool. Now it gets to this one day. I met this guy called Train Bay. Well, that's not his name, but we're going to call him Train Bay. So I met him in London, and then we had been chatting back and forth, and he decided, I think I saw him one time when I was in London, and then he decided, you know what, I'm going to come and see you in Manchester. So I had told her, let me think. So I had told her that he was going to come up. I said, oh, just so you know, Train Bay's going to come next weekend. Is that all right? And every time I bring someone over, I was very wary of like, oh, blah, blah, blah is coming over. Yeah. Is that all right? Like, yeah, cool. Or not even maybe, I wasn't really asking permission. I was telling her, because you're not my mum. So told her Train Bay's coming over. She said, cool. And then I reminded her again closer to the day, Train Bay's coming, cool. The day of that he was coming, she messaged me and was like, oh, is Train Bay still coming? And I was like, yeah, why? And then she was like, because I've been asked, because I forgot, I'm looking after my niece tonight. She'd bring her niece over to the house sometimes. I'm looking after my niece tonight, and I don't want her in the house with a stranger. And I was like, oh, like, is there no way you can take your niece to your mum's house? Because her sister and her mum live around the corner from each other. Yeah. There's no way you can take your niece to your mum's house. And then she like, I think she phoned me and was like, I don't see why I should have to do that. It's my house as well. You can't just bring whoever you want over. Like, it was just a bit random. Like, it had come out of nowhere. But now looking back, I'm like, obviously, all this shit was bubbling till it's got to the top where I thought everything was cool, but it's an overspill for her. And now this is her way of lashing out, being awkward about it and being like, no, she has to come here. So she was insistent that her niece had to come to the house. And I was like, fuck. And then she was also insistent that that man could not be there whilst her niece was there.
Well, that's not very fair, is it? It's not a compromise.
Of course it fucking
and also,
ain't fair.
You've been saying it for a whole week.
Yeah,
and she's
man.
just dropped it now.
And look, I'm not perfect. I'm not saying, I'm just a perfect person in the situation. I probably did shit that was annoying as fuck.
Yeah.
But she was like adamant that her niece was coming and adamant that
he wasn't.
And she was like, I don't feel safe with a man in the house with my niece. I'm like, bro, we're going to be in my bedroom. I'm not worried about like...
You live in a shared house with someone, you can't really dictate what they dictate. You can't, what they're going to do. That's not right.
And she was like very much like, yeah, not having it. And obviously he was coming from London. I'm not going to cancel that. Like if he was in Manchester, whatever might go at his. He was in London coming all the way up.
Yeah.
So at this point, I was so upset because she was just being quite cold, like a different side to her that I'd never seen.
Right.
She's been very cold. So I was like, you know what? I'm talking to my friends and my mum and my friends going, nah. Because I was saying, I'm just going to go get a hotel because I don't want the aggro. Like I don't want no stress. I don't want no aggro. So my friends are going, no, don't do that. Stand your ground. I just said, I'm going to book a hotel. So I booked a hotel. Me and him went to the hotel. But as soon as I had pressed book on that fucking hotel, I knew it's too late now. Like, because how are we going to come back from this?
You're not.
How are we coming back from you saying I can't bring who I want to my... And look, this is going to sound harsh, but this is the way I feel. It was our house. You pay some of the rent.
Yeah.
But really, I'm paid the deposit on the house. I'm paying 2/3 of the rent. Everything in that house is mine. I cook for you every single day. I clean. Like, at this point, it feels like, I know we are sharing this house together and I need to respect you, but you're almost acting like, it's like a tenant in my house. Like, and now you're dictating to me what I can and cannot do when I already do all this stuff. And it's like, I'm not doing it for you for anything in return, but I need a bit of open-mindedness. So, cool. I decided to go book a hotel. Go to the hotel, had a great time with the guy, whatnot, come back the next day. And then she was just, I'd never seen this side of her. She was so cold and so rude and so bitchy. After that week, so I came home on the Sunday, and I hate confrontation, so I was so avoidant. Came home on the Sunday and I knew I was going to say to her, look, this ain't going to run. Like, and I loved living with her, but I just knew, how do we move forward from this when you're telling me I can't bring this person into my home? And
I guess what had happened is that stuff had been pissing her off, and rather than discussing it with you as and when and resolving it, it built up and built up and built up. So this one thing became the pinnacle, and it actually wasn't that much of a big deal, but it became a big deal because it was backed with months and months of resentment. Yeah,
and if she'd been like, look, babe, I've been feeling a type of way and this and that, I would have understood, but she didn't. She held it in and held it until it bubbled over to the point where you're being horrible and resentful and mean to me. And then I ended up coming home and we had this conversation and I said, look, babe, I don't want to stop being friends with you. I love you, but us living together is not going to work in the long run because you're going to end up resenting me and I'm going to have to change the way I live my life. And I can do that to a degree, but I don't feel like I should have to be worried in my own home. I want to, and the thing is as well, because coming off the back of, I'd been in a relationship that was abusive and
controlling,
and I've been living with a person prior to this where I woke up every day in fear and scared and in just a hostile environment. I'm not going to now put myself in another hostile environment. I've escaped that. So this is why I want to be happy and comfortable in my own home. So now I'm feeling awkward and I'm like, look, and I gave her options as well. I said, I don't want to stop being friends with you. I just think us living together, we don't mesh like that. And anyone that's emotionally intelligent and knows themselves knows, yeah, this is a shit situation. You might be a bit rocky for a while, but it's going to be good. Like, she was not having it. She was like, well, I don't want to be your friend anymore after this. All you care about is she was like, I can't remember what she said because it was a while ago now. She was like, for me, what's most important in my life is my family and then my friends, but all you care about is men.
But that's none of her business, essentially. Like, even
she was slut shaming me in the whole process.
And I've had this with friends as well. Like, I've had this with friends when I was like in that time that I'm talking about. Like when I was younger, like in my early 20s, I've had that from friends as well, where the fact that I was like sleeping with people was a problem for them. It wasn't a problem for me. I was good, but it was a problem for them, and they kind of like would gang up on me about it a little bit. And it's just like, whoa, like you're slut shaming me. Yeah. And that is just, sometimes that happens. And look, but my thing is like, you can do whatever you want, but also I can do whatever I want. And you can't tell me what I prioritize or what I don't prioritize because you're not me. You don't exist in my head, in my body. It's my choice. Yeah. And if you were worried about me because you're my friend and you have some concern, then please come to me and talk to me about it and we can discuss it. But if you're doing it from a place of like, judgmentalness, then no, thank you.
And it's so weird because I'd never seen that from her before. I never felt like she judged me, although her lifestyle was completely different to mine and she wasn't really a casual sex person. I never felt like she was judging me or looked at me a type of way about it. But I just think she was so good at hiding how she truly felt that it just ended up overspilling like that.
Or maybe, like when it wasn't under her nose, essentially, it wasn't bothering her. But maybe she didn't realise she'd be that triggered in that situation or in that scenario. But again, like when something really triggers us like that, when something makes us have such an adverse reaction, we have to question ourselves and work out why. Yeah. Like, why am I feeling like this?
But
why?
This is the thing. She was not willing to compromise at all. And it was like, you know what?
It's your fault.
Even though like, I feel how I feel and I feel like I should be able to do what I want in my own home. I can see from your point of view. Yeah. I can see how, you don't want strangers in your house. You don't want people you don't know in your house. This is your sanctuary. This is your safe space. I can respect that in you, even though that's not the way I live my life. Yeah. She was not willing to see from my point of view at all. And so therefore I was now the bad guy in her picture. And it was kind of pointless me even trying to talk to her about it because she made her mind up and that was it. I was the big bad Emma and I'm this and I'm that. And it's weird because after we fell out, like, my friends were like, oh, I think she was jealous of you. And I never got that. I never felt like even afterwards, I was like, I don't think she is jealous of me. Like, because we shared like we had this life together.
But you don't know. But also sometimes like people, it might be your freedom to just do, like the fact that you do what you want, unafraid of anyone else's judgment, or you know. And some people are envious of that. I know that I've had friends that are jealous of me before. I know I have. I know that, and they've been jealous of other friendships that I've had, or you know, they've been jealous of like for whatever reason it might be. But I know that has existed before, and I think. I would like to say that as you get older, things get better. But I had a friend like literally 2 years ago, met her on Instagram. And the thing is now, at this point, when I meet people and I feel like, we're on the similar kind of energy, I'm really open with them, like divulge my whole life. And we're having, and she's quite like a deep spiritual person as well. So having loads of conversations about trauma, about, kind of like abandonment issues, like all of these kind of things that have impacted me. She introduced me to my therapist who really helped me, like loads of stuff, really like great, incredible girl, like such a good friendship. And then out of nowhere, she just stopped speaking to me. And when I pulled her up on it, she's like, there's something you did around this time that's really upset me, but I am not prepared to discuss it. And then, wait, everyone, I then replied to her and said, I'm really sorry, if I've upset you in some kind of way, but I'd really like to understand why. And, maybe we can discuss it, whatever. She never replied to my message at all. 18 months later, a year and a half later, she sent me a message saying, like, I'm really sorry. They're still not telling me what it is I've done wrong. Oh, God. There was something that I did at that time that really upset her.
Nothing. She's making it.
And then can we meet up and like discuss things and blah, 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 blah. And at that point I said, like, boundaries. I said, look, I've worked it out. I have no issues or problems with you because I really don't. But no, I won't be putting myself back in that situation. Yeah. I'm not going to put myself back in the line of fire with someone who's already proven to me that I put my love and, friendship into them, and then they will just cut me off. You have to be willing to discuss things with your friends. Like if your friend does something that annoys you.
100%. Oh, that's why I love the friends I have now, because my closest friends now will tell me the fucking honest truth. If I'm pissing them off, they'll say, you're fucking pissing me off. Yeah. We talk to each other like we're family. And I feel like that's the only way to like be honest with each other. Like being honest and being open and telling someone how you feel. Don't just always be a yes man to your friends. If your friend has done something that's upset you, you have to communicate that with them, and you can move forward. And it's not like, because if you keep that in, like, how are you really developing a strong bond? You're not.
And you need to know that you can have those honest conversations and they're still going to be there. It doesn't change the way you feel about them. Like my best friend, who I've known since I was 11, we had a business together and she got pregnant. And it just, I knew it was going to change everything. And I was really upset because in a way I felt like I was losing my best friend. The business isn't going to work. Like I was thinking about myself. And actually I feel really bad about it because I should have been really happy for her, which I was once we'd worked it out, but I felt really upset about it. She could have been like, do you know what? Fuck you. You know, like how dare you? I'm pregnant. I'm like, you should be celebrating this. But she was really understanding because she knew me. She knew where I was coming from, what my experience was, how important she is to me, like all of those things. And I remember us going out for lunch and having the discussion and me having to be really honest and say, like, I feel really scared. I feel really like, I'm going to lose you and things are never going to be the same again. And, and then I'm so glad that we did that because we're even closer. And now I have like 2 nephews, or I call them my nephews, who I love, who I'm close with as well. So, you got to be willing to have those discussions, but also to be like, I did see, even as I was feeling the way I was feeling, I could see like, but this is, it's not about me. Like I could see both sides of the coin, that what I was doing was kind of unfair, but I felt how I felt and I needed to.
And that's the thing. Like sometimes friendships come with like complex emotions and it's about having the understanding with each other. Like recently, so after this other girl I was on about, after that I lived alone for a bit. And then one of my best friends from uni was having a hard time at home. So she said, can I come and stay with you for a bit? We ended up living together for a year. She only just moved out a couple months ago, right? So even like after that, like me and her are like this, and obviously she's only 5 minutes up the road, but she moved out and because she bought her own place and she has a flatmate there. And it's like even now, I the rational side of my brain is rational, but the unrational side of my brain feels almost like, I don't want to say neglected, but like replaced. So she now has a new flatmate. Aww. And like I don't see her as much because she's just been working a lot, and then she's also seeing this person, so they're together a lot, and then she's with the new flatmate, and I see them all going out and doing stuff, and I'd be lying if I said that didn't make me feel a type of way. But I'm not gonna punish her for that because she's just living her life. Exactly. And I know she still loves me, but I sort of know that she feels like the same way. And I think it's hard because literally right after she moved out, about 2 weeks later, I went through this breakup with this guy. Right. So now it's like, you've moved out, I feel replaced, I also feel neglected because I'm never seeing you no more. But it's like, I'm not her child.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to be there for me all the time, but I'm self-aware enough to know that I feel like this, but I know you're not doing it from a place of maliciousness. And also, like, she came to mine a couple of weeks ago. We went out and she still had my keys. So when she moved out, she was like, oh, and I'm going to keep the keys, right? But I feel like for her, she doesn't, like, giving the keys back was very final. Like, yeah, I have moved out. And I needed them back, so I was giving them to my auntie because she was staying at my house. I said, I need the keys back. And she came over and we were going on a night out. And she said, right, I'll give you keys now, but like when you get back from holiday, can I have them back? I said, no, because you don't come here. I was like, she was like, because when she said I'll keep the keys, I was thinking, oh, she's gonna like let herself in and whatnot. Yeah. Bro, she had never let herself in from when she moved out.
It's just like an actual security thing. It's like a symbol.
And I said, no, babe, you're not having the keys back. If you want to come over, like, I'm always here. And she knows how to get in the building and anyway, right? And then she like started getting really upset and started crying. And I was like, babe, what's wrong? And she was just like, although I don't want to see her upset, like it felt validating for me because it's like the same things that I'm feeling, you're also feeling as well.
And also just to say that, like, because one of your friends gets a new friend, it doesn't negate your friendship.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't make your friendship any less special or any less important to that person, you know. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? Like, if I look at my spectrum of friends, they're all so different, and there's things about each one of them that are so special and unique, and you know, and there's certain things that I could do with all of them that I would not rather do with anyone else other than them. And I think it doesn't mean that that I love someone more than the other or anything like that. It's just how life is. And that's something I think, from having like a best friend and being younger, as I've grown up, that's something that, you know, I think with my friends towards me and me towards my friends as well, that we've all had to come to accept, is that just because someone else has other friends doesn't mean that your friendship is less important. And, you know, life changes, right? People's circumstance change. So it might be for a while, like with you and your friend, you're seeing each other every single day. Yeah. Like me and my best friend work together. Honestly, happiest time of my life, because I got to see my favourite person in the world every single day. And we had some ups and downs of running a business together, but by the end of it, again, even closer after 3 years of like running this business together. And we had so much fun, like so much fun. And, you know, I can see her, you know, me and her being like 80 and talking about some of these stories. And I think that's the thing, is like the only difference I would say between, you know, like some of my friendships is with me and Kat, who's my best friend, is that we have so much history and so many stories. You know, she'll just be like, do you remember that time, you know, like the guy pissed on me and then because she got a sting in a jellyfish sting on her bum whilst they were skinny dipping, and then it's long. And then he strangled her after, like during sex afterwards, and that was fun as well. But anyway, that's her story to tell. It wasn't like he thought it was sexy. It wasn't really consensual. He just sprung it on her. Oh no. Kind of strangled. But at the same time, like, we have so many stories that I guess that's something that your memories together that gels you even more. But the understanding that you are going to get new friends, your friends are going to get new friends, but it doesn't negate your friendship with them is really important.
That's the way, like, I view romantic relationships, though. Like, just because I have these feelings for one person, you know, they say, like, can you love two people at once or whatever? And it's like, if I've got a relationship with this one person, I feel this type of way towards this one person, just because I also meet this other person and I develop a relationship with them, doesn't change the way I feel about the other one. Do you know what I mean? I'm talking real polyamorous now, but I just mean, like, I feel the same about romantic relationships. Okay.
I don't know if I do. I think, like, I think I can love somebody platonically if the romantic love is gone. Like, I can still have a real love for them. But I feel like when it comes to that romantic love, like, it takes quite a lot of investment from me as well. And so I generally tend to have that for like one person at a time. But then that's the thing, like, we're all so different, aren't we? Yeah. But I do think, you know, this episode, we've told our horror stories of like friends, but friends are the best thing in the world.
The best, man. They're your sisters.
Yeah. And they stay with you. And I think, you know, even if you're someone a little bit like me who spent a lot of your life feeling like you don't really get on with women, or you don't really gel with women, you don't really know how to relate to women, like, there's a space for you to be friends with women. You just got to find the right people. And like you said, if you want to make friends, you're going to have to get out there. You're going to have to be vulnerable. And you're going to have to, like, face rejection or feelings of rejection and face awkward conversations. But you will find your tribe. And when you do, even if it's one person or two people, like, that's all you really need. I don't have, like I said, I don't have like a massive group of friends. I have loads of acquaintances, but my friends, there's few of them, but they are a force to be reckoned with. Yeah, they really are.
How do you feel about male friendships? Do you think that you can have platonic friendships?
Yes.
You'd believe that?
I do. I think I have some.
Yeah. Do you think they ever think about romantic?
I don't think they do
in a sexual way.
No, and I don't know if they ever have.
Yeah.
There's, like there's certain. I mean, like guys might be listening to this and be like, no, every guy that you have that's a friend wants to fuck you secretly, blah 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 blah.
Or if they were given the opportunity.
Would. But there's some guys that just don't fancy me, like, and have never found me attractive, and I don't think would ever want to have sex with me, like that are just like, oh my god, she's so annoying or whatever. They're the ones that are my friends. Yeah. And that's the truth. Like,
you was like a little sister.
But no, it's the other way around. So like one of my friends, George, and he's got a girlfriend that he's been with for years, Carolina. I got on with her as well. So now I've got an extra friend. I've got another friend. She's the one who did the thumbnail for the podcast. Yeah. Big up Carolina. Thanks, George and Carolina. And so yeah, him, I met, he's 10 years younger than me, I think, and he's a videographer. So I met him when I was doing like camera stuff. He was at uni with my friend Con, who also did camera stuff for me. And we've been friends for 10 years plus. And yeah, it's never been like we have deep conversations. He annoys me, I annoy him, but there's nothing there. There's just nothing there. And I think you can feel it as well. Like, don't get me wrong. There's guys I know who I'm like friendly with or are acquaintances that I feel the energy is different between. Mm-hmm. But with certain people, I feel like it is purely platonic, and that would never be the case. And I would say like he is one of those people, and he's like a great friend. Yeah,
I feel like I've got that when I think about my male friendships,
and also gay friends as well, like gay male friends.
Love
the best.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I think I've got good platonic friends, but then I've also like had sex with some of my male friends. So. Big yikes.
I don't know. The thing is, like, for me, in most cases, it's like once I've had sex with someone, I can't go back to just being friends. Yeah.
Oh, I can.
I mean, I'm trying to think now if there's people that I've had sex with like a long time ago that have then come back into my life and I'm friendly with and it's just cool. But I don't know if there is any, you know? Like, I really don't think there is.
One of my male friends, who I'm like still pretty good friends with, he was like the second person I ever slept with. I was like 17. And I thought I was in love with him at the time. Like, I thought I was madly in love with him. But really, I didn't love him. I was obsessed with him because he didn't want to be with me.
Right.
And I was 17 and confused. And he wanted to have sex with me, but he didn't want me to be his girlfriend. What? That sent me in a whole different spiral and tangent of something else. But now we're friends. And it's really weird when I think about that. But, like, so much has happened over the years. And we're just in a place now where it's like, cool, friends.
I'm trying to think in my head, like I'm desperately searching, like, oh, my brain's hurting of people that I've slept with and then been friends with afterwards. And I just don't really think there is any.
Do you think you can be, this is a different tangent, but do you think you can be friends with an ex?
I think the problem with being friends with an ex is whether or not when they get into a new relationship or you get into a new relationship, your partner's going to be cool with it. Like that's the truth, isn't it? Like that's the thing that for a lot of people, they seem to be getting on okay, and then they get with someone and someone's like, no. Like, and I understand why it would make someone else feel uncomfortable. But I'm like, I honestly am friendly with all of my exes. Like, as in I'm not friends with them. If I see them, I'm fine with them. It's never like an issue. It's never a big problem. And like my ex-boyfriend who just passed away, again, like we've been split up for 4.5, 5 years, but we always stayed in touch. I speak to him, see him out, you know, all of that stuff. And so, and I had a deep love for him just because the type of relationship that we had and the, I guess like the intimacy, the time in my life when it was, all of that stuff. I had a deep appreciation and love for him that never went. But was he someone that I would call and talk to in the way that I would with my friends? No. And I think that it wasn't there yet. Maybe it might have been there at some point, but I think that's very different and difficult when you get into new relationships to maintain those friendships. Because you get into a new relationship, you don't want to lie to someone. It's like, how do you know him? Oh, he's my ex and we've slept. Like it's
a bit, when you say it sounds bad.
But then again, you know, for me now, I'm dating, I guess guys very often have children. And I would, you know, one of the things that I want to know is that they have a decent relationship with the mother of their children and that they can, you know, I'm not saying they have to be best friends, but they're cordial, that they respect her, that all of those things are important to me. Like if I heard someone trash talking their baby mum, that would be a massive red flag and it would put me right off. So I think, you know, that in that situation, you have to be okay with someone having their X in their life.
Yeah.
I guess there's just how much influence they have over you as opposed to the importance of your relationship with your child is what would be the thing that I was looking at. But yeah, I don't know. It's complicated.
Life is messy.
Life be messy.
Messy.
Like the footballer.
Yeah. Lionel.
Lionel?
That's his name, isn't
Lionel. We don't know anything about football. No, it's becoming very apparent. But yeah, I think the kind of message of this episode is that friends are really important, and they're the most important because, you know, very often romantic relationships come and go, but friendships, although some of them do come and go, a lot of them will stay and be locked in. And also, it's never too late to make new, incredible friends.
Never is. Like us. Bing.
We like to do
even when I'm old and I'm going to be going to like little knitting clubs, I'll be making new friends.
Exactly.
All right, I've got another question for you.
You won't be going to knitting clubs, though.
Of course I won't.
You'll be going on like over 60 sex parties.
No, like what's it like? Line dancing
trips.
and shit. Don't give me ideas.
You'll be starting them.
I'll be.
That'll be our company.
Going to dance parties.
Yeah.
Like line dancing shit. Man,
it won't be line dancing. It'll be twerking.
Yeah, but obviously, like, didn't want to say that.
Line dancing won't be cool for our generations. It will be.
It'll be twerking.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
It'll be shake your ass.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. What, holding on to your Zimmer frame.
Yeah, literally, bro.
Pop it.
Yeah. Anyway, what are the 3 main pillars of friendship for you? Like the 3 main things that you need in your friendships.
The 3 main things that I need in friendships would be communication is number 1. Like making sure that you can be your honest, truthfulest, most authentic self and feel safe with somebody and know that they've got you and know that they will always tell you if, you know, even if there's something that you are perfectly happy with, if, you know, if something about your choices or whatever is getting to them, then they need to find a way to express that. And that's absolutely fine. I think communication is so important, or if they're feeling insecure or if they're feeling anything, communication is always key in any relationship. So they have to be good at communication and willing to communicate openly and honestly. And I guess like accepting me for who I am with every decision that I've made and loving me regardless. You know, I think that is so important as well. Like, yeah, call me out on stuff if you feel you need to, but love me regardless. Do not judge me. Do not try and make me feel bad for my life choices and the life that I'd lived. That's really important to me. So communication, acceptance, and I would just say like fun and joy, like those 2 kind of things together. Like it's really important for me that I can have fun with my friends. Like these are the people that I've got, you know, the best stories with and memories with and experiences with, you know, from traveling to like just crazy wild nights out, like all of that stuff that just when I think about it brings me so much joy now, years and years later. Like I've had those experiences with those people. And so, yeah, that would be my things: communication, acceptance, and fun and joy.
I think mine would be the same. I just think like I would rephrase like the middle one to be like support. Like just because your friend, like sometimes my friends do shit that I think you're a fucking idiot. But
what
you know
a wanker.
I'll be here for you when you come back crying to me because you're an idiot. Yep. And that's the same thing that I need from my friends. They know I'm a fucking idiot. But they're still going to be there for me. They're not going to shame me and shout at me. Or they might shout at me, but then also give me a hug afterwards. Yeah. Like, they're not going to, oh, well, I fucking told you that. It's not that nastiness. Like, it's that, well, I did tell you that, but I'm here for you.
Yeah. Because also, you got to understand as well, like, all of us go through that. You make the same mistake over and over again until you're capable of learning from it.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it takes a lot of times of making the same mistake, in my experience, hundreds of times sometimes.
My friends are so sick of some of the guys that have been in my life.
Yeah. I hear you.
So fucking sick.
I hear you.
But they still love me.
Yeah. Sometimes my friends will be like, not again.
Yeah.
Not again.
Not another one.
You know, but at the same time, they love me regardless. So I think that support and acceptance of the choices that you make and still being supportive is really important.
I hope everyone listening has that kind of sisterhood.
And if they don't,
in their life.
Sorry to talk over you.
No, it's good.
If they don't, then it's not too late to go and get it.
Never too late. Never, ever, ever.
And I hope that this podcast kind of inspires you. And even if you're listening to this, put in the comments, like start commenting that if you're where you are. No, maybe don't tell people your address, but like if you're looking for friends, whatever, don't feel embarrassed about that. Don't feel like, you know, any kind of shame or there's something wrong with that. Like we've all been there. I traveled on my own for 10 months and I felt like a fish out of water because I had to be going into hostels and I needed to make friends. Like my friend Ellen, who's from Australia, she'll tell you one night I was in Argentina and I wanted to go to this like drum show, right? And I didn't want to go on my own because it was like a big city. I was on my own, and I heard them from my hostel dorm room, heard them talking about the fact they were going, and I literally just walked in there and went, I'm coming with you, like that. I just not even introduced myself, nothing. Just walked in, and I was like, and I was like 30, like 32, 33 at the time. And I was like, I'm coming with you, like that. And they must have been like, who is this strange girl?
No, you're fucking not.
Yeah, no, they let me go with them, and I ended up traveling with them for like 6 months on and off.
Amazing.
And so like that threw me into such a. I remember when I booked the flights, and I was thinking, I can't do it. I can't do it because I'm so awkward, and I'm like, it's hard for me, and I don't know how I'll cope, and I'm going to feel so uncomfortable. Best thing I ever did, and it forced me into a situation where I had to make friends.
And sometimes you have to push yourself out of your comfort zone. Things don't change when you stay the same and don't push yourself out of your comfort zone.
Got to get out of the comfort zone.
Yeah, because that's when amazing things happen.
Get out. Have you got anything for me?
Oh, I've always got something for you, baby. Hold on.
It's
Depends what you want.
That time, go on.
It's that time of the podcast. Right now, let me do it properly. So,
Clear your throat,
Clara, it's that time. You know what time it is.
I know what time it is.
It's time for the
Saucy secrets.
So I've got a few different things for you. I don't know what you want from
High
me.
quality sauce.
So,
Sauce. Raw sauce.
oh, sugar butties.
Sugar butties.
Sorry, that's something I say instead of saying shit.
Oh right, yeah. I don't think I'd want a sugar butty because it's gritty, isn't it? The sugar.
A bit, yeah.
Did used to like eating sand when I was a kid.
Okay, so which one do you want from me?
Sand. Literally.
We've got what made you realise they weren't the one.
Yeah.
Or what's the worst lie you ever told to get out of a date?
I'm gonna go with what's the worst lie you've ever told to get out of a date. I'm trying to think what mine is. Oh no. Yeah, okay. Yep. Carry on. It's really bad. I've told some bad stuff probably in my lifetime.
Okay. Got my friend to call me crying, saying her cat had died.
Not the cat.
No.
Not the cat. I like my cat. The thing is with that, that's a good friend. We've been talking about friendship. That's a good
That's a believable
friend.
one, though. I was like, oh, my cat's died.
No, if my cat died, do you understand what would happen?
Yeah, it'd be horrible.
We would have like a full-blown like funeral procession. I would
Not the procession.
Yes, I'd be in mourning for probably at least a year. That cat is my
Even
favourite.
though that cat hates you.
Yes, my favourite thing. I call her my favourite person in the whole world.
That cat hates Clara.
She does.
She's
Doesn't
so
hate
adorable.
me. She does love me a bit. But she's I'd be absolutely distraught if anything happened to her.
Okay. I told him I'd fallen down the stairs and had a bag of peas on my foot. You know, like the anything from the freezer. Sweet corn, peas,
Yeah.
anything on the foot.
No, but when you go into too much detail, I feel like that's a tell, isn't it?
That's what I mean. Like, why the peas? Like, yeah, you could have said I fell down the stairs and sprained my ankle.
Yeah.
But you said, I fell down the stairs, sprained my ankle, and now I have peas on my foot.
And
like, you're adding too much fabrication to the story.
And let me be really honest, yeah. If I fancied someone, no sprained ankle or broken foot is
Would
stopping
stop
me
me
from going on a date
I'd say,
with them.
get me in that fucking wheelchair.
Yeah, let's
And
go.
get me down.
I'd go. I'd be there.
I'd say, come pick me up, and we'll go on.
On date.
Or just, come round. Yeah, no.
Yeah, but she was just like, oh, sorry, I've hurt my foot.
I've hurt
Got
my
some
foot,
peas on it.
sorry. The angel cards told me I shouldn't go.
Love that. Yeah, I read my horoscope today and it said, do not go on a date with him.
I went to see the tarot reader and she said,
Do not go on a date with him. Yeah, she said, I went to see Mystic Meg and she said, no, she's dead. Fuck.
No.
She died, didn't she, Mystic
That's
Meg?
really sad.
That's a great one. I'd love to have known what his response was to that. Like, I would love to know. Because that's kind of one where it's like, sorry, are you being serious right now? Do you know what I mean?
God.
The angel cards.
Yeah. Imagine someone said that to you, though.
If a guy messaged me and said the angel cards, I'm trying to think what's the worst thing a guy has said to me, like to get out of a date. But no one's ever said angel cards, I'm going to be honest. But putting it out there, if you need that excuse, it's a pretty good one.
Someone put, I told him I was accepted to art college and had to go immediately.
Oh, yeah, because that happens all the time, doesn't it? That happens all the time.
I must pack my bags and leave now.
I must go. I'm leaving on a jet plane.
No. Right, hold on. I left my chicken in the oven. No. I've left my chicken in the oven. I'm really sorry. Wait, but how do you... Oh, she must have been on the date already. I was like,
oh my God. Yeah, sorry. I'm just going to have to go because I've left my chicken in the oven. Someone be like, aren't you vegan? Yes, vegan chicken.
Yeah, it's my chicken. You know, with a K. Chicken.
Yeah, fake chicken. Not that I left my chicken in the oven. I don't know if that... you know what that's going to do is just leave that guy absolutely baffled.
I know. That's my chicken in the oven.
He might have deserved it.
Maybe he was an arsehole. I told them that my fish tank had smashed and I needed to go and get a new one. So specific. Again, we're too specific here now, guys. Just
and then I'd be like, what are you doing with the fish? Do you know what I mean? Like, if it was me, I'd have been like, well, where are the fish?
Do you want me to come and help you? Like, that's going to be quite heavy to carry the fish tank.
Yeah.
I'd be like, I'm trying to help.
Yeah.
This is so specific.
This is the problem. Don't be specific with your lies to get out of dates.
I got into a fist fight with my mum after she threw my sister's passport into spaghetti. That's way too many fucking things that just don't make sense. Like, of course he's going to be side-eyeing you. Right, if I wanted to get out of a date, I think I would just literally say...
I'd say I've got a work deadline.
I'm really sorry, but I've got... Like, I just make some lie up. I say, like, I've got a really bad stomachache and I just can't leave the
Periods,
house.
pains.
I've got COVID.
Go with period. It scares people. It scares men all the time.
I've got PMDD, what's it called?
PMS?
Endometriosis. I've really struggled with my periods.
Yeah, you say something like that. Just keep it simple.
Not, I got into a fist fight with my mum because she threw my sister's passport in spaghetti.
What?
You're
Say
doing too
what?
much. You're doing way too fucking much. Not too.
Did you actually get into a fist fight with your mum? I mean, there's a lot of questions there.
Fist fight over a passport in spaghetti, and it wasn't even your passport. It was your sister's passport.
You could have just wiped it clean because the bit of the passport that matters is not going to be impacted by spaghetti. So why does it matter? And why was your mum putting the passport in the spaghetti?
And how saucy was the spaghetti?
But why was she putting it in there in the first place? And also, why are you fist fighting with your mum?
That's what I mean. She dreamed it because there's no way that just comes off the top of your head.
That wasn't a good excuse.
Let me see if I got any more for you because
I don't think that was a good excuse.
It was 2 p.m. and I said I had to go home and make dinner.
I really like food and I'm very hungry. And it's also a very complicated recipe that I'm going to be making this evening using many fresh ingredients that will not last until tomorrow. So I'm sorry, sir. I'm going to have to leave. Thing is...
Sorry, I've got a very long-winded one that was in the DMs. She put, my friend had met a girl through Tinder and set up a date. And the girl turned around and said to her that she couldn't come because her mum had tickets to see George Ezra and the concert had been cancelled. So she couldn't meet her because she needed to console her mum.
Over George Ezra?
Not my house in Budapest. No one's that fucking upset over George Ezra. Like, fair enough if it was Beyonce. But Beyonce.
Do you know what it is? Again, it's the specifics.
That's what I mean. You're doing too much. So, guys, if you need to get out of a date,
just keep it simple.
Hit him with the period. Hit him with the, oh my God, I've got diarrhea. Oh, yikes.
Yeah,
no one wants to talk about diarrhea.
Anything that they're going to ask questions about like that, where it's going to be mad orcs.
Yeah, so you need to do that.
Have you ever had anyone make an excuse to get out of a date with you? Or have you ever made an excuse to get out of a date with anyone that you can think of?
To get out of a date, I really feel like people don't make excuses. They just ghost.
Yeah, nowadays, they just ghost. Yeah, but when you're on a date, like, that's the other thing as well, isn't it? You know, like you hear about people going into the toilet and climbing out the bathroom window.
I don't think I've ever been on a date where it was like, I fucking need to leave immediately.
Yeah, I don't know if I have ever. I did have a really scary experience once, like really scary, where I thought I was going to die.
Why?
Dun, dun, dun. I'm going
to hiccup now. No, actually, I'm not.
Are you going to or not? I was in Miami and I was like, at the time I was vlogging my travels and I was like, oh, you know, like when you're growing up and you watch American movies and you see people going like traditional American dates, you know, like in the batting cages or whatever. Anyway, I've met this guy on Tinder. He had like a YouTube channel and a social media profile and that. So I was like, okay, cool. He makes content as well. And I told him about like, you know, doing this like thing. He's like, yeah, sure. There's like somewhere near where I live. We can do it there. Anyway, I get in the, taxi and like an Uber, like, because I don't really know where's what, and I was staying in Miami. I think he lived in Fort Lauderdale, which is really far away.
Really far? I
think that was it. And I was like, hold on, where am I going?
At least 40 minutes.
Yeah, no, further than that. Yeah, it was like an hour. And anyway, so he said about this bar we were going to go to. It had like batting cages, like all of that kind of stuff. So I was like, sick, that sounds great. And then we drove through like the main city, and then we're now getting into like this residential area. And I was like, hold on a second. So I messaged him and I was like, what is the name of the bar that I'm supposed to be going to? And he's like, no, it's my house address that I've given you. So I was like, I started to feel really on edge, and I'm someone who like trusts my instincts, and I was like, I feel really uncomfortable now, and I was like getting really like antsy. And then we got to like, it was literally the middle of nowhere, and it's like these little houses, and the Uber driver stopped and he's like, you're here? And I was like,
in the dark?
It was dark, yeah, there was only like a few street lights. So I was like, okay, yeah, cool. And I like walked down the path, and they were like these little kind of like 1-story houses, and they all looked normal. And it got to the one that had his number, and there was just loads of junk and stuff outside of it. And I was like, oh my God. And I didn't know what to do, because I'm now I'm in a country where I don't know anyone. I'm in a town where I don't know anyone.
I would have been terrified.
And it's nighttime and it's dark. So I knocked on the door, and instinctively, when I knocked on the door, I then moved all the way away from the door, like far, far away from the door. And he came out and he just seemed really awkward, like a little bit strange, and gave me this really weird hug. And when he did that, I got like an electric shock, not a positive one. It was like a run. Like that's what my whole body was just like run. And I just went to him, I'm going to the shop. And I ran and I ran and I ran.
What did he say when you said I'm going shop?
I literally went, I'm going shop, and ran. And didn't look back.
You hugged him.
Yeah. And
pulled away.
Felt that feeling.
Said, actually, I'm going to go shop.
No, I didn't say it like that. Yeah, literally. I was like, I'm going to the shop, and just ran. I ran.
Did he not say anything?
What was he going to do? I didn't look. I just ran. I just ran, and ran until I got all the way into the town, and I found a somewhere that called a cab for me. Like, honestly, it was horrible.
Did you have Uber?
I think I couldn't get the internet or data on my phone or whatever. I don't know what it was at the time. This is quite a while ago. But essentially, he didn't actually...
What do you think he was going to do?
I don't know. I don't know if he was going to do anything. But all I know is how I instinctively felt. And I've never, ever felt like that again. Or like since then or before then, I've never felt like that. But I felt like run was the instinct. So I ran. Anyway. I can't believe that was that. My excuse was I'm going to the shop.
I'm going shop.
That date lasted about 5 seconds.
Need some Skittles.
Basically, that was it. Yeah, and off I went.
Wowza.
Jetted. So there you go. That was my story.
She's a runner. She's a track star.
I mean, I probably wasn't. I just kept running. Like when you feel scared,
I could do that about 1 minute, and that's it.
You find adrenaline though that you don't know you have. I ran and ran and ran and ran, and you know, like when you're in that frame of mind, like every single person after that looks scary. Like everything looks scary, and you're just completely disorientated.
Oh, babe.
There is something like, and I talk to my friends about this, like when you go travelling, I love going to new places and stuff, but when I get off the plane back home in England, there's like a sense of like safety, because you know, it's like you just know everything.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You know all the streets.
Anyway, that was my story about that. Thank you, everyone.
And that's on it.
Well, this has been another episode of Things I Wish My Mum Had Told Me. It's been a great episode. And don't forget, if you are listening to this and you think of a story that is like funny or wild or weird or wonderful or scary that you really want to share with us, then please do. It will always stay anonymous. And we have saucy secrets on every single episode. And we would love for you to share your secrets with us. You can email mumtoldmepod@gmail.com.
Or you can hit us in the DMs at mumtoldmepod.
That's
on
simple.
Instagram.
Yeah. And then don't forget to share this with everyone you know.
Yeah. A friend of a friend.
And a colleague.
And your hairdresser. And the lady that grooms your dog. And also the lady on the checkout at Sainsbury's.
Yeah. And just on the end of this podcast, because we've been talking about sisterhood and friendship, this place where we're recording the podcast, we were late to start this recording because we're in the kitchen area. And we met two incredible women, one who's a medical doctor and the other one who is a relationship coach. And I overheard their conversation and I interjected because they were talking about something that we'd both been talking about. And that's how easy sometimes it is to make connections and to have that kind of like sisterhood and community. So I just wanted to say thanks to both of them for being so like
Shout
open.
out to you girls.
Yeah, love it. Thank you.
Love you all.
Bye.